Guys, we got a 2015 Buick Encore. This is a 4-cylinder turbo engine. We're gonna replace a water pump. So take out the water pump. We're gonna have to drain out the antifreeze, remove the pipe, or just let the water go down. But anyways, we're gonna remove this little guy. So you need to pull on this tab. If I'm able to do it by hand, there you go. And then you squeeze this. This guy comes off. What we're gonna do is we're gonna loosen this up, and we're gonna loosen this bolt right here out. We're gonna remove this housing. We're gonna take out the filter, completely take out the housing. We're gonna push this guy off, and we're probably gonna just take out this whole housing. It's only held in by grommets. We're gonna take off this little guy right here. It comes right off. Okay, and the water pump is down there. We're gonna order a new bolt. We're gonna have to jack up the engine, and we're gonna have to we're gonna also replace the thermostat. And what we're gonna do is, after that, we're gonna be replacing the radiator. So it's gonna be a hell of a job. Stay tuned. Once I get all this off, we'll jack up the engine mount and start taking off the bolts. So got that bolt loose. So this guy should just come right off. Let's see if I could yank this guy off. And nothing is holding it. There, nothing is holding this little guy. So just this housing here needs to come off. There you go. And this side, we still got this little guy. We're gonna take this guy off. And very important sensor, make sure you connect this back or the car will not start, or it might just act crazy. Now, we should be able to yank this up and outward. So there's 3 grommets that's holding this little guy. There you go. 1, 2, and 3. Let's put this baby to the side. Okay, so what we got here is we got the water pump in there. So we're gonna have to take off this engine mount here. Everything's gonna have to freaking come off just to get to the water pump. Anyways, what we're gonna do is we're gonna order a belt, and we're gonna order antifreeze. Make sure you don't shoot any water or anything in there. Let's see how this job goes today. Okay, so here's the water pump. This is what the water pump will look like. It doesn't come with the pulley. Is there a part number on this guy? Let's see. Yep, there it is. This guy got it online somehow, some way, but that's all the numbers that's on it. And okay, he also got me a thermostat. So this is the thermostat. Part number. That's all it says on it. A106 8-2. Anyways, thermostat and water pump is some crazy looking stuff. Okay. So we got some pipes back here on the thermostat. Anyways, on the water pump. So all we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to put a jack in the bottom. We're gonna have to take off these bolts, and the mount comes off, and then we're gonna tackle the bracket. So I got my floor jack on the under the engine mount. I'm sorry, under the engine. And what we're gonna do next is we're gonna bang out these bolts. Okay, so what we got here is this is, let's see what number this bolt socket is. 15mm. That's what this is. So, okay, I'm going the wrong way. 1, 2. Let's just make sure our floor jack is lifting the engine. Yep, there should be no weight on this. So 1, 2, phone rings. 3. Just want to go in order. 4. Go easy on the bolt, just in case the engine wants to go down like that. Let's just pump it up a bit more, and there you go. Baby's all loose. And after that, 1, 2, 3, same size bolts. This whole mount here is gonna come out. I'm gonna put this baby to the side, and I always like to clean things up. Anyways, next step, we got a couple of bolts. There's a bolt here, and they are kind of in tough spots. and that bracket has to come off. This bracket has to come off, okay? So I see this bolt in the bottom. Okay, there's one over there. It's 3 bolts so far. I felt. So I'm gonna take these off and the bracket should come off. There's a bolt sticking out. I removed it with this 15 millimeter right here. I loosened it from right here. From this side, you can slip this through and turn it counterclockwise. This is a 15 millimeter. And I bring the engine a bit down, so you are gonna have to take off a couple of clips here and a screw right here with the Allen key. And once you bring the engine down, this bolt should just come down just like that. And then we can jack back up the engine a bit so we can work comfortably. So all I really have here is I have no bolts in the bottom left. I got 1 bolt here, which I don't know how long that bolt is. Hopefully it's short. And I got a bolt here. And let's see how this baby react. If anything, I will drop the engine again to remove those bolts. Okay, so all the bolts are long. I loosened these bolts up, and hopefully I was thinking maybe this can come up, but it still doesn't want to come up. So I might have to jack up the engine a bit. And don't go crazy with the engines. You don't want to crack the pan. You don't want to damage anything, but I still don't have enough room. I don't know what they were thinking designing this guy. I still needed probably 1/4 of an inch. And hopefully this is good enough right here. Okay, still not good enough. At least I should be able to pull out the bolts. This is 1. And this is 2. So let me just see if they're the same length. So they're the same length. I can see antifreeze on them. Water pump is definitely leaking. And this is the common issue on these. So I'm gonna jack up a tiny bit more before I crack anything. And a little bit more maybe. It's a lot of jacking there. This is bigger than the engine, bigger than the whole car. All right, maybe I should have loosened up the belt, but maybe if I had loosened up the belt, it would come out easier. Oh, there you go. So just twist it kind, and this baby comes out. Look how big that is. And now we have access to the water pump, but we still need to drain the antifreeze, pull the tensioner, take off the belt, remove the pulley and everything. Okay, so when I got me a couple of sockets, so this is E14 inward torque socket, which fits on this tensioner right there. As you can see, let me go around right there. And we're gonna use that to pull the tensioner. And then we got an E12 inward torque that fits perfectly on these. Okay, so you might be able to fit regular sockets on it, but you might be able to strip it, so take it easy. If you want to do that, try regular sockets, but I have done that on BMWs, like 8 millimeters fit on it on the housing, like these right here, perfectly good. Okay, so yeah, I took my hand over here with the socket. You want to be careful with this. So what I want to do here is I'm going to take a clean rag. I'm going to, just for the heck of it, put this right here, because I don't want any disasters. So anyways, what we're going to do is before we take off the belt, before we take off the belt, I do want to loosen these bolts right here. You see that? If you put a little bit of effort to it, like impact wise, there you go, they become loose. Okay, very simple. 1, 2, 3, there you go. So those are loose. So what my next step here is to take off the belt. So we got our socket and a tensioner on the tensioner, and you see how the belt becomes loose. So take it easy, guys, don't go crazy. And I can't hold the camera and do this job together. So what I want to do is I want to remove the belt, and then we will continue. Make sure you draw a diagram if you need to. Okay, got my camera sitting on one angle. So what I want to do is I will take it off one of these pulleys, which whenever makes it easy for me, probably the alternator. I don't want to take it off this little guy. That might be, it might get stuck around the neck of my tool. You see that? It did get stuck around the neck of my tool. So I'm gonna have to go back, put this baby. I'm might, okay, you know what, once I do that, I should be able to take it off another spot. So it is kind of tough decision here. So let's see if I can get it off the alternator here. There you go. And that's it. That baby's out. Get my tool out. So the belt is off. That's how simple that was. Belt is off. You want to be careful with these sensors on this side. So we are going to be putting a new belt. There you go. Okay. So we got everything loose. We still need to drain the antifreeze. The hard part is still there. The mess part. The messy part. So this type of job is critical. So I would recommend you guys, if you're able to, if you got tools, shop, power tools, you should be able to do it. Other than that, it's not so bad. Floor jack, because really, I'm not really doing nothing from the bottom. And just the bracket, the car needs to be jacked up kind to get the floor jack down there and remove that. But anyways, got the 3 bolts off, and the pulley should come off. There you go. Let's put this away. There's our water pump. Thermostat housing on this side is another ridiculous system they have here. So what I want to do here is I do want to pop that lower. Oh god, it's gonna be a mess. Anyways, let me figure something out. Let me take a break. Okay guys, so change the radiator. What I did here was, first of all, I took off that cover. It has a whole bunch of clips all around it. These are the clips. Take off that cover. Once you take off that cover, you're gonna take the 2 13mm bolts off this little guy right here from the hood latch. It does have a sensor, which you have to pull the tab and disconnect the sensor, and it comes out and it goes to the side. After that, you have that metal plate. The metal plate has 10mm, 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 and a whole bunch of 10mm. Take them off. Once that latch is off, that thing will come off. Okay, this little guy has these little guy. You could just bend these in, down, just push them down with the screwdriver, and it comes right out. After that, you got these 2 brackets, 2 10mm, 2 10mm. Okay, 2 10mm and 2 10mm. That comes off. After that, after that, we got this cover right here. So this guy goes in just like that. So it has a clip. It has a clip down here, which is all the way down there. And same thing over here. And this guy just somehow, some way, you pull the grill forward a bit. This comes off. And now we're down to, I'm probably gonna bring out the fan with it, or I might just take off the fan first. And I took off the 2 10mm of this reservoir. That's out of the way. Okay, now we need to take out the transmission lines. There's a sensor down there. I'm not sure if there's any other sensors. We're gonna disconnect the fan and a whole bunch of harness and stuff. So maybe we can pull out the fan one way and take out there's a bolt on the condenser to the radiator, 1 2 and 1 2. So that's something we're gonna have to work some magic there, and that's it. And then the radiator should come up with 2. We're gonna take this 13mm and this. The bracket should come off and the radiator should pop out as well. Anyways, we're still working on the thermostat, water pump, and this all together. Okay, so there is a sensor right here. Sensor has got the sensor here. So the sensor has this little retainer that you pull right in the top, and then you wiggle the sensor out of there and make sure there's a seal that's left behind. Make sure that's there. This is for the radiator pipe. So once you take that off, that is a struggle. This guy is a struggle. Took me about 40 minutes to get this guy out of the housing right there. But I got it. As you can see, I got it. There it is. There is that baby. Got it. I'm going to do the same thing with the top. Then I'm going to try to clear the path here. Take out this sensor. Okay, and the sensor has a connector, the one I just told you about down on the radiator. Here's the sensor connector. So you squeeze that. That comes out. So pretty much, I am going to take off this transmission line here. And there's one below that. I'm going to take that off too. It does have a little rings here. And it does have a little retainer, so make sure you save them, make sure you don't lose them. So once that's off, I am going to take off the bolts, and I'm going to see if I can fish out the fan first. And then I noticed there's a bolt down there on the intercooler. I think that also as well is connected to the radiator. So I'm gonna try to take a 1 2 1 2 and see if it moves. If it still doesn't, then I'm gonna take the third bolt. There's a third bolt over there. And then to take this thing out, you could just push this flap and the radiator should just come right up. Radiator should not be issue, just the fan I might be a little worried about. But let's see how the fan goes. We got clamps on this side. So there's a clamps on the hoses. On these hoses, there's clamps. That should be no problem. Anyways, short break and we'll come back. Okay, so far what I did was I removed this clamp, got this pipe off. I took off this pipe from the reservoir anyway. I loosened this up. I took this out so I could push the pipe out. But I took off the top radiator mounts. Okay, so I got 3 bolts over here, 3 bolts, 2 bolts on this side. The bottom bolt on the intercooler, ooh, okay, I did get 3 bolts here as well. That one is jammed, so it made me, I got no space. I gotta splice the bolt area up because it free played. I did take off this little guy and took out the little retainer from right here, from this line. And this line just simply comes right off. So it is out. I gotta get the bottom one. I was gonna get the fans out, but then I decided, you know what, I could just get the radiator out. But now I am recovering with the AC machine. I got my lines connected. I'm gonna take out the condenser because that bolt, if that bolt didn't bother me, this would have been out, all right guys? But that's what it is so far. And then to do a thermostat housing, once everything is out, I should be able to work on that thermostat right there. Other than that, whew, I was gonna take out the fan. I don't even want to talk about it no more. Okay, so I took off the radiator pipe, the upper pipe. There's a retainer, but now what I want to do is I took off this sensor here also. It does have a pipe in the bottom, but we're using this E10 here. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna fish out 3 bolts on this thermostat housing. This job is just ridiculous, okay? It's a ridiculous, crazy job. I've been on it for 3 hours trying to change all 3 pieces, and I think it's best you change them together because it's wacko. It's a wacko head. But anyways, I'm gonna get the 3 bolts off. Then I'm gonna tilt this thermostat down. A lot of antifreeze is probably still gonna come out. And then there's a pipe down there. See that right there? It's a clamp. I could squeeze that clamp and get that pipe off. And that's how simple that should be. But once I have that off, I will show you guys. Okay, I took out the AC condenser. You got 2 seals on the side here, so make sure you don't lose those 2. Oh my God. I have to melt this guy because this freaking guy free played inside this little guy. Why couldn't they put a screw right through the goddamn plastic? Plastic through plastic. It's this type of shit right here. This is what they got down there. Anyways, pick up the cooler. Put this baby to the side here. And all I got now is that bottom transmission line down there, which I'm about to fish out now. Then I'm going to lift this radiator fan and I'm going to just leave it to the side. And hopefully I'll be able to get this radiator out. Anyways, it's no joke here. This ain't joke. Changing this radiator is not a joke. I've been on it for 3 hours. That's for sure. Got that line off too. So both transmission lines are off. Now, the hard part, or the crappy part, is it gonna come out? So I'm gonna have to tilt it and pull it up. So I'm gonna just slip it out. Shouldn't be that easy, but I don't know where to put my camera because there's nowhere to put the camera. But anyways, this is what it is. So pretty much I'm gonna push that forward and get this out. It should come easily out, but I'm gonna take my time with it. Anyway, guys, let me get this radiator out and then we'll talk about it outside. So we took out the fan and the radiator, but check this out. I was thinking about taking out this thermostat, but why not just plug it on to this and just take it out, put it back in, leave that one in. I don't even have to remove it, but this is the tool you're gonna use. So we got our new radiator here. Here's our new radiator right here. This is the baby. And here's the old one. Okay, so you might need the retainers here. You might need the retainers here. There's an O-ring in there that I have to take off. Don't worry, forget that. But other than that, let's see what we got here. So it does come with a little screw things on here, and other than that, okay, the back side of the radiator does come with the new retainers. Good, new retainers. Does not come with the seal. Remember, there's a seal in here. Don't forget that seal. And that's about it. And these sometimes they're loose, but make sure you check them. Anyways, that's what it is. So it's the same process on Chevy Cruz. Chevy Cruz is the same setup. Okay, so nothing different. Anyway, so I'm gonna leave this housing now in because I'm gonna take out the pump, but I will be taking off that clamp and push it down. Okay, so to take out this pump, you're still gonna need this E10. So there's a whole bunch of bolts. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna remove them all. One, keep them in order. Sometimes they're lengthier and shorter. 2, 3, and here's number 4. Okay, there you go. And there's a couple in the bottom. Couple in the bottom. So this is a banana job. I never done anything like this. Anyway, guys, let me get this pump out, and then we will talk about it. So pretty much just bolts all around it. Okay, these stupid clamps, I can't get them off. I thought I was gonna take out the thermostat, everything together, but nope. So what I decided to do was I took the thermostat apart. But there's your thermostat. Look at that. That baby is broken, and most likely it probably was overheating. So Chevy Cruz, Buick, take care of it. Anyways, let me talk a little bit about these bolts. These bolts, this is a long bolt, this is a long bolt, this is a long bolt, this is a short bolt, this is a long bolt. So 1, 2, 3, 4 long bolts, and the rest of them are short. Keep them in order. I haven't taken these out, so keep the bolts in order. As you can see, look at that, long and short. Okay, there you go. And then I will take these bolts just like that, put on the old pump, and I will continue one at a time to put the new one in. But I got this baby out. So this thermostat was completely broken, and most likely probably was overheating because of that. And let's pull the springs out. So there you go, broken thermostat. So I'm gonna continue the job, guys, and I am gonna take out this thermostat. I'm gonna make sure nothing's in there. I'm gonna take off that clamp. And now I can take out this pump and take off this clamp separately and that clamp separately. There's no other way. This thing is just ridiculous. I don't know what they was thinking designing this. Got the thermostat housing out completely. This was one of the easiest clamps on this guy, but I got it off. It's broken. So now I got all the bolts and everything off this pump, and it's gonna be a mess down here if there's any antifreeze in there. Not a lot, but there it is. There's our pump. It's all corroded in there. Wow, look at that. Why so much corrosion? I don't know. I see. It seems like there's a oil as well mixed. It seems like there's been oil in here. But anyways, I'm gonna clean as much as possible. Clean the head. Clean this. Take off this clamp. And we do got a issue here. I think he had an issue right here. This might be a pipe leaking, but he brought me the pieces to do it, so probably gonna look at that. I'm probably gonna check that one out, and let's see how it goes. Okay, so I cleaned the heck out of it. Okay, I cleaned the heck out of the whole housing. So make sure you take a blade, parts cleaner. You clean the heck out of it. I still gotta do a little bit of my job on this side. Other than that, it's looking good to me. And what I want to do here is I want to explain to you one thing. This little guy, where's the old pump? Where did I put the old pump? You see this? They use some type of red sealer there. We don't have that. We have a gasket here, okay? We have a freaking gasket here, okay? It's a paper gasket. This paper gasket usually tend to leak. So I have a solution for this. Okay, to show you a sealer that I have, what I want to do is first I want to remove all the bolts off of here, put them onto the old pump. So as I work, I could just take one bolt at a time, and start installing it, because as you can see, they're long and short. You're not gonna remember none of this stuff. Anyways, this baby goes there, this goes here. You don't want to put a short one where the long one goes. You don't want to put a long one where the short one goes. You can damage internal components. So these two seems to be the same size. So let's take this little guy, put it right here, and they got this little guy, put it right here. So first of all, let's flip this baby over. So this gasket, this paper gasket, is gonna tend to leak. So what we got is a high-tech sealer here, part number 80055, I believe, or 98H on the top it says. I don't have any other numbers on this. On the barcode it has an 86226 0062. I'm not sure, but it's a high-tech gasket sealer, but I use this so many times. So what I like to do is, first of all, pump is good. You want to match up your seal how it goes. So we're gonna put the seal just like that. So what I like to do here is, I like to put the sealer all around here, just a tiny amount. This thing is gonna grab that little guy so hard over time. It's gonna need blading and removing. So what I want to do is, I want to get this all around, then I want to put the gasket on it, and I want to put more on the gasket. Once I'm done, I will show you, and we will take this pump, put it onto the vehicle. I'm done here, got it all over, and I'm gonna dispose this one. I'm gonna get another bottle, but they also sell this in spray, so you might want to search a little bit. So what I want to do is, I want to take one of these bolts. So this is the one that goes over here in the close to the pipe here, so that way I'm able to put this pump in and get that bolt in there at the same time. So what we're gonna do here is, I'm not gonna be able to do it with the camera here, but anyways, I'm gonna get the job done and right. Let me not destroy myself. Okay, so the pump is on. Next, I am gonna put the thermostat on, which is right over here. This is where the thermostat is gonna go on to, and then I will put the pulley and the belt on, and put the bracket on, and we'll work on this area after that for the radiator. Okay, so there's the thermostat. Got the clamp on the pipe on, and it only goes one way. You can't go wrong. If you try to go wrong, you're gonna go south, west, east, and you're gonna be in trouble. And let's see if I can get this guy, the camera in my hand, and light sitting on the side of the bar there. Anyways, there it is. I'm gonna pull 1, 2, 3 bolts, lock this baby up. We'll put the connector in. Bada bing, bada boom. The thermostat is that easy to put on these babies. But the thing is, I got the radiator out, fan and the condenser out. But you could, I'm sure you can do it from right there. I did get this the turbo pipe here, booster pipe here off as well, and that's about it. Okay, so first of all, we put a new pipe on for this guy. There you go. And it's just pipes that's sitting around, just cut the same size. You're not gonna find that anywhere. Just be careful with the T. They usually go, you don't want to twist and turn it, and you'll break that. But anyways, got this pulley on. The bolts are, as you can see, they're loose. Okay, just try to snug them as much as you can. Once the belt is on, bam, that's when you're gonna just give them that force. Okay, so right now they're loose. So let's put on the belt. Okay, here's the belt. Part number, but I don't care about the part number. So what you want to do is, you want to wrap the belt. Okay, so remember, the belt went over the alternator, it went over the crank, came around here, went around the pump. So it's pretty simple to do. So the trick here is going to be, remember, once we took it off here, the belt, it didn't let the release the tool. So we'll get this belt here, then we'll yank it, put on the alternator, and then we'll put it over here, which you might not see, but that's how it's gonna be. So we'll get the belt routed all over, have it off on the alternator, we'll have it off here, we'll yank the tensioner, get this belt on the alternator, and then slip it onto this pulley. Okay, so got my belt routed. What I want to do here is, I'm gonna take it off the idler pulley, the tensioner, which is the tensioner pulley I meant to say. Okay, I'm gonna get it on to the alternator. Okay, we got it on the alternator. Now I am gonna slip it onto this pulley here. If it's off anywhere, it's not gonna go on. Okay, so that might be one of the reasons why your belt might not go on. But oh god. And plus, if your belt is brand new, it's not stretched out yet, but it looks good. So this is pretty much done deal. Okay, so we got this in, the whole thing. Next step is the bracket. I was gonna put the mount in, but the mount doesn't go in yet. But remember, the bracket has 2 bolts that I took off. So we're gonna do it the same way, okay? So right now my engine might be a little bit down because I did go down with it. So I don't put force on it. So I'm gonna come back up. And then I'm gonna take the 2 bolts. One was here. And the other one is here. And now this guy got to go between the 2 belts. So to change the belt, you have to do all this, okay? Just to replace the belt because it goes right through it, I believe so. Yep. Anyways, new belt, new water pump, new everything. This baby is ready to go on the highway. And if you are doing this job, make sure you buy some good parts. Don't buy nothing crappy because you only want to do this once. So the way I took off was this side went in first. So I had this side in. Well, that side came out first, and this side I took off second. So let me jack up the engine a little bit more without breaking anything. I'm sure you could get it to sit straight up. And these bolts are disturbing it really bad. So let's take off one of the bolts because I'm sure I'll be able to get that one. So once I take off the bolt, look at that. Okay, but the bracket on this side is on top of the belt. We don't want that. We need that guy to be under the belt. Okay, we might be able to go a little bit more. They designed this engine for you guys to lift it. Because you have to. You have no choice but to lift the engine up. Okay, so just gotta go underneath the belt. There we go. And now I should be able to get my second bolt in. And one from the bottom. It's straight from the bottom. We don't need to worry about that one. There it is. So I'm gonna try to capture some threads so it doesn't fall back out. So you're gonna be doing all this just to change the belt, okay? All right, so I need both of my hands right now. Okay, caught some threads there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lock up 3 bolts and then we're gonna put them on. Oh no. Backing things up. Remember, these bolts are still loose. So once the belt is on, because the belt is gonna sit flush and the pump is gonna try to turn with it, it's okay for the pump to turn, but what you wanna do is you wanna give it that smack, okay? Give it that smack. Like if I made a mistake like this, I can't reach, you can simply just let the pump turn over and make sure the key's not the ignition. The engine might try to crank up and you never know. And smack this up so this is tight. Now I can put this bracket in and it's bada bing bada boom. Okay, all 3 bolts are tight on this bracket. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this engine mount. We're gonna simply, the bad part is we cannot do no leak test or anything on that pump. So that's the only bad part, because so it's best to determine if pump is leaking or not, but we can't even do that because the whole job's got to be complete, radiator and all. I mean, you can test it, but what the heck, what we're gonna do? Customer bring the parts. I did try to put a sealer on. So now what you need to do here is you need to push the engine a bit. If you want to come up, you can come up, but you need to push the engine to capture these 3 bolts. It should be really simple. Get them in, tighten them up, and that's it. Bada bing, bada boom. And take off your floor jack. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 bolts are tight. So again, I need my second hand. So push this engine and line it. Even the mount bracket moves a bit, but should be able to do it. Alright guys, our radiator is in. It slipped right there. The front cooler sits on top of it. Then the condenser. Condenser has a 13 millimeter that's attached on there. Got it from right here with the wrench right here. Brr, brr, brr. 2 lines. Make sure you put the sensor in. Make sure you put the seal in the sensor. Make sure you put the connector in. Make sure you put the 2 transmission lines in. Make sure you put everything back together. Make sure you connect the fan. Make sure everything the way it is. Bada bing, bada boom. Thank you for watching my video, guys. I know it was a crappy video. It wasn't a fully like each taking off the bolts, but detail was this is where everything's gonna come out from. Get the fan, radiator, condenser, everything from right here, okay? Anyways, thank you for watching my video. Make sure you put antifreeze in it. It's a self-bleeding system. After that, drive around, check your antifreeze, check for leaks. Bada bing, bada boom. Don't forget that sensor. Okay, don't forget to connect this sensor. Don't forget that sensor. And there is a seal on the old radiator. You gotta take that off, put it on to that little sensor sitting right there, and stick it back in. Anyways, thank you for watching my video, guys. I'm gonna end it right here. Hell of a job today.